Since independence, Uganda has never had a law that governs markets across the nation, apart from the 1942 Markets Act that was done by the colonial masters, the British. At the time this act came into existence, Uganda then didn't have any private market, meaning all markets were public. But since then, things have changed, and now Kampala alone has over 84 markets, with 68 of them privately owned and 16 public markets. But this led the Kampala Capital City Authority Council to come out with a market ordinance with the purpose to incorporate the private markets within the law so as for them to be regulated, something the Attorney General refused to accept, saying how the 1942 Markets Act didn't have an option for private markets to be regulated by government. Now the good news are Parliament is amending the 1942 Market Act into a new Market Act that will now act as an oversight law to all markets. Speaking to the Deputy Lord Mayor of Kampala, Doreen Nyanjura, this new market bill seeks to amend the previous Colonial Act and now provides how all markets, including the private markets, how they will be regulated and how vendors can also elect their leadership.
Because he was quoting a 1942 law that currently Parliament is trying to do away with. The market bill that is currently before Parliament seeks to amend the 1942 Market Act. That, of course, that is archaic and can no longer regulate markets in today's era. Yes. So, and in the market bill, they are now talking about private markets, how they can be regulated. They are also talking about public markets, vendors in markets coming up with associations, name it. So this time around, they are saying times have changed. We also need private markets, because when you look at the Constitution, it gives Ugandans a right to do any businesses as long as it is not illegal.
Nyanjura further confirms how this market bill is long overdue and it will not affect any way the market ordinance being discussed by the authority councillors, but only will have to incorporate in their new ideas that the Attorney General had earlier rejected out of the ordinance.
This market bill that is currently being debated in Parliament has been long overdue, but we are happy that finally it has come. And the market bill does not in any way affect the ordinance that is currently being organized by KCCA, because the other one is an act which is going to govern the whole country, and we are coming up with an ordinance which is going to ensure effective operations of market activities in Kampala. The only challenge is that we now have to go back and insert in the part of the private markets that the Attorney General had earlier on advised us to delete. So we welcome the idea, and we hope that it's going to benefit the whole of.
Nyanjura further says the only challenges they face currently is the high fees being hiked by private markets, and by law that is underway seeks to make sure that all people live and enjoy their lives in the city, as she explains.
This year we want a city that is livable, sustainable and inclusive. So you have private markets that hike the prices. For example, if you go to get a stall, if you go to get a lockup in a private market, the prices are very exorbitant. You get it? And yet for us in our public markets, we are saying no. These markets are here to help the poor. These markets are here to empower the poor. So usually when we come out as KCC and try to advise, they say no, this is private business. These businesses can be privately managed.
Brian Senkumba, Channel 44 Prime News.